is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with that analysis today. Another video for you guys to keep you guys fed and healthy and nutritious. Giving y'all some nutrients right now, making sure y'all get a good balance of basketball in your diet. And today we're going to talk about Derrick Rose. And the main reason why we talk about Derrick Rose is because a lot of people feel he has a legitimate argument to become Sixth Man of the Year, which isn't crazy. It's not nothing that blew my mind when I heard it, or even that the fact that people think he could win it. It's not really unrealistic. It's not crazy. But I think it was interesting that a lot of people think he has a legitimate case to be Sixth Man of the Year. And I'm just going to talk about that today and give y'all that as the video because it's something that we have to look into because it's something different. So Derrick Rose is a guy that played for the Pistons this year. He really wanted to go to a team and contribute. He got meaningful minutes. He was able to play 50 games, and out of those 50 games, he started 15 of those games. He was able to get up a lot of shots because of the injuries to Blake Griffin and Reggie Jackson. They needed him to do more. They needed to rely on him a lot more. And obviously, he shot 15 shots a game, which people forget. That's been the highest amount of shots that he has had since he was with the Knicks when he averaged 18 a game that season, and he started 64 games that year and had a pretty productive season that year, even though he had some nagging injuries. You look at the field goal percentage, 49%. He has been able to up his field goal percentage because he's been able to knock down and get that jumper going, especially from three lately. Especially last year, he shoot 37% from three, and he shoots the highest field goal percentage of his career. This year, it didn't really happen. 30 points. 30% from the three-point line wasn't really going in for him. Didn't really have that touch like he had the year before. He never really been a consistent three-point shooter, but he shows that he's fearless when it comes to the three-point shot just because he still will take them, and he's not scared to take them off the dribble. He's not scared to take them contested or even spot up. So he still feels confidence in his jump shot. He still trusts his work ethic because he continues to shoot them anyway. He shot 87% from the free throw line. That's something that's different because he came in the league as a okay shooter to bad shooter, and he has been able to turn himself into a respectable, above average free throw shooter for basically his whole entire career. And another reason why he's scoring more points is the mid-range game. When you look at his days in Chicago, that was something that he continued to work on and something that he continued to use. Just because if you can't get to the rim, or they know you trying to get to the rim, they're going to give you that cushion and that space because they want you to shoot that shot instead of getting to the rim. Derrick Rose in Chicago, people forget how big and how athletic he was for the point guard position just because this was a guy that was getting to the free throw line 6 to 7 times when he was healthy, especially when he was at the peak of his power like the MVP year. He shot a career 6.9 free throws a game just because he was just so tough to stay in front of, and he was so tough in transition, and he was able to follow that up with 6 free throws a game in the next season after the MVP year. So he always been a guy that can get to the line. He always been a guy for the last couple years that can knock down his free throws when he gets there. But his reliance on his mid-range and his floater game really made him a lot tougher to guard now, just because he know he can get to the basket, but he has other counters and other moves just in case you sag off of him. And that's something that really defeated him early in his career. He could get to the rim, but he was getting beat up and toe up just because that was his biggest strength, and he had no other way to reliably score. And you look at the Derrick Rose of today, this is a guy that still has a good handle, still has that strength, but he has multiple ways to put the ball in the basket without relying solely on getting to the paint to create and get his buckets. And I think that's something that's going to help extend his career just because he's still a productive player. He's still a guy that has fans, and he still is a guy that we want to see. It was good to see him get the 50 points. It was good to see the Comeback Player of the Year award. It was just good to see Derrick Rose not give up, continue to fight, continue to try. And even though he wanted to quit multiple times, he kept putting in that work and kept coming back because he has the love and the passion and the feel for the game still. And it's just good to see Derrick Rose doing well. It's good to see him happy. It's good to see him, defy the odds. And it's good to see that, he still can be a good player. A lot of people thought he was done. A lot of people thought he was going to give up, and for him to be able to score 18 points a game multiple times in the Knicks last year with Minnesota and even this year, it shows you that he's not that far from being great again. Will he ever get there again? It doesn't matter because he still is an impact player in this league, and he's only 31 years old. And honestly, I just love what he's about. I love him as a person. I actually know Derrick Rose, honestly, but it's just good that he continued to put in the work and continue to fight and continue to go. And just to see a season like this where he has an argument to win the award like Sixth Man of the Year, it just shows you that he had that fight in him. Just to still be able to be a guy that can be a potential all-star for another team. And even though I don't think Detroit was the greatest fit for him, it allowed him, just like New York, to show that he can still contribute to a team and he can still be a player that you can rely upon and be a player that can, get you where you need to go depending on his role. So one thing I liked about him coming into this season was he accepted his role just like he did in Minnesota, and that was just coming off the bench and giving that pop, giving that energy, and just giving somebody that you can put the ball in the hand. He can create your opportunity for himself or for one of his teammates. And that's something that he has been able to do. He had to reinvent himself, and he had to really find another way to be productive in the league, and he has done that. And I think that that's something that's more of a blessing, and I'm glad that he was able to accomplish those things. But when it comes to the Sixth Man of the Year, I think it's a tough race because you do have the Montrez, you do have the Lou Williams, you do have the Dennis Schroeders of the world that has had great seasons and have, helped their team win, especially when they have went through injuries. But I still would have to give the award to Schroeder. 19 points, 46 from the field, 38% from three. He was an 80% free throw shooter. He also gave you 3 rebounds and 4 assists. And that's one of his best seasons also, especially when it comes from efficiency. And the fact that he's a big reason why the Oklahoma City Thunder have had one of the toughest benches and have had one of the best records in the Western Conference, a top five record in the Western Conference. I think that that's important because he's a big reason of that. And even though Derrick Rose was a good reason why the Pistons was able to stay afloat with Blake Griffin and guys missing time, Dennis Schroeder had just had the best overall impact to me personally on winning, especially for a team that a lot of people wouldn't even have thought would be a top five team in the Western Conference. I love me some Chris Paul. I was glad that they made the trade, but I also ain't gonna lie to you that I didn't expect the Thunder to be as good as they are this year, and Dennis Schroeder is a huge reason of that. And then you look at Montrezl Harrell, a guy that came in and gave you 18 points, 58 from the field. He gave you the 7 rebounds. He played 27 minutes, and he only started 2 games, so he definitely qualifies for this award too. And, it's tough not to give it to him just because you look at the numbers and you see that he has had a great season. But Schroeder, his ability to break down the defense, his ability to put the pressure on the defense, his ability to knock down a three from the screen, off the dribble, off ball, and even get out in transition and get to the free throw line when need be. He just has a slight edge over everybody just because, to me, nobody has had the impact on winning that he has had this season. And that's the most important thing, that you're coming in, you're contributing, you're accepting your role, and you did what was best for the team, but they rely so much on him to really, balance out that offense, and they go small and they go little, and he just destroying players and other teams' defenses. And Schroeder just looked he just looked happier. He just looked like he's excited to play basketball. He looks like he loves the team that he's a part, and they're allowing him to be who he is. And even though Derrick Rose is in the argument with the Lou Williams, with the Harrells, it's just a spectacular thing just to even think like that Derrick Rose is even in this conversation, and you look at the numbers and he has a legitimate argument. He might didn't play as many games as the other guys, but that's only one part of it. It hurts his argument a little bit, especially because his team was one of the worst teams in the league. But Derrick Rose continued to go out there and play and try to help them win, even when everybody gave up on the Pistons early this year. He still was going out there trying to contribute to winning, and he has. And he's one of the big reasons why Detroit ain't the worst team in the NBA. But other than that, I would just say he's in the argument. I still would go with Schroeder, but it's still good to see Derrick Rose playing this well, and it's good to see that we even having this conversation years after the multiple injuries, the nagging injuries, the ACL injuries, the meniscus, I believe, injuries too. It's just good to see Derrick Rose still playing and still doing a good job and still being an impact player at the end of the day. But that's all I got for you guys. Let me know, do you have Derrick Rose winning Sixth Man of the Year? Is it Schroeder? Is it Harrell? Is it Lou Williams? There's a lot of other guys you can put in that conversation, but I think those are the biggest ones that really made the biggest impact off the bench. But other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. If you're new to the channel, like the video. If you already like the video, thanks for the love and support. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. It'll be in the description. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that likes on Facebook already. If you're going to like on Facebook, thanks for the love. Also, check out my spread shirt. There you can find merchandise. Also, you can get merchandise from me and t-shirts on my Facebook page. So if you want to see how a shirt look, I showed you in the beginning of the video, but it's also other logos and other colors that you can make the shirt. You can change the color of the shirt. You can change the color of the logo, and I can get it shipped out to you if you mention me on Facebook. And thanks for checking out my website. It has been pretty good. I still have it up. So if you want to check out my website, becoming a member is free. And at the end of the day, you'll have similar content to this on my website. And then at the end of the day, if you like this video, I do make breakdowns for rookies and players. I also cover Summer League, G League, the draft, free agency, trade deadline, playoff predictions, and I do cover the playoffs in general. So if you love basketball and you need that feed and that fix every day, I do make videos almost every day. Most of the time I do throughout the whole year. So if you love basketball and you need it and you want a different perspective, a different opinion, and just a different attitude about the game, this is the channel for you. Subscribe, just because you ain't going to find a channel like this on YouTube. So other than that, I'm gone, and let me know what you guys think about Derrick Rose and Sixth Man of the Year. Is he a candidate? Is he the winner? Did we sleep on his year? Or is he came up just a little bit short, which I think he did. But other than that, Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm gone.